If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
Deciding on a college with your high school senior can be a little overwhelming for parents. But applying for money to pay for it is simple. FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, is now easier than ever with fewer questions and faster fill-out times. If you have a high school senior, now is the time to apply for thousands of dollars for classes, books, and housing. Get started, Nebraska, at dothefafsa.org. Sponsored by Education Quest Foundation. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
You've got used to one segment of Good Takes in the morning, but now there's a full show of Good Takes at night. Welcome into Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket.
Well, welcome back in. Raff's Good Take on Sports right here, 93.7 The Ticket as always. You guys are welcome to join in. We got NFL on the brick and mortar. We got NFL on the brick and mortar. It is currently the Chiefs Commanders. I do believe the Chiefs are leading that one. It is 14-7. Chiefs leading 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. But like I said, this is Raff's Good Take on Sports, and we got the host of the show as always, Chris Raff. How's it going on a early night here in Lincoln? At least I don't know what it's like down there for you.
It's not too bad. I think it's probably in the 50s. Probably it's a little chilly down here. I think it was low 50s this morning, I believe it was. Yeah, I wore my shorts, so that was always interesting. And I do the the ride sharing or whatever. So I wore my shorts, and the first girl that I picked up today, she is from Jamaica. So she had her heavy jacket on, her scarf, her beanie, everything, because of course 50 to her felt like negative 15 degrees.
Yeah, you probably looked like a maniac to her.
Yeah, that was funny. She's like, "It's so cold outside." I go, "I have shorts on." She's like, "Huh?" But yeah, good times.
He has
Good
the guy
times.
to wear his shorts all the way into like negative 10 degrees. And then you're like, maybe I'll put some sweats on. It's a little cold.
Yeah, well, there's that the one guy in the mornings, he walks by the show during the drive. His name's Red. Well, his nickname's Red, and he wears shorts every single day. That's commitment to excellence in the great city of Lincoln, Nebraska, right there.
Hey, it's about the mind. Me and my buddies, we used to do this all the time. And for football, every year we would keep wearing shorts because we walked home because we both lived in town.
Yeah,
And every time it started getting cold, then we just call it winter conditioning, regardless of how cold it was. We're like, we got to get used to it. That's the football. It's going to be cold. And if we have to get used to it, because we were still at the age where you're young. So you're not really one of those main dudes either. So it's a lot of hanging around on the sideline, not actively playing. So you get a cold fall game and you're a freshman and C2. So we were all on varsity. Everyone got to be on varsity. There was, still the JV, but you would get to suit up with varsity as well. So you knew you weren't going to get in the game unless something absolutely catastrophic happened to stringers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you just sit there cold as hell. And in Hartington, Nebraska, Northeast Nebraska, it got really cold. So we'd always do the winter conditioning. So we always didn't wear shorts, but it was more about getting ready for the winter. It's not the mistaken, I'm a cool, tough guy. Like I was definitely cold. I was just trying to get used to it.
I was makes me think back to the tough guy is I think it's probably been 3 or 4 years ago. Me and my Dactyl brother, Nick, I call him the Dactyl because we're the Dino brothers, but we were so committed to golfing that if it was anything over 35 degrees and no wind, we were out on the golf course. But we were convinced that, well, if it's no wind and 35, it feels, it's good enough. We can golf. And this year that year, I remember one time we were golfing and there were snowbanks and they'd melted. Most of the golf course had melted, but like behind the tee box and stuff, there was still snow. And like, well, it's 38 degrees and no wind. But I remember it backfired on us one time. We went out to Newmark and golfed, and we thought it was like 38, no wind. And we got out there and the wind was gusting. And I remember I looked over at him and he's like, "I think it's a little cold out here today." And I'm like, "Yeah, you think so?" But that was a very dedicated year of golfing. That's for sure.
Probably got to play some cheap rounds of golf though.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. It amazes me the prices of golf, the way they've kind of went up, skyrocketed a little bit. Like some of those courses around Lincoln, when we were back, I was just like, whoa, that's not what it used to be. But I guess if you have the demand, or if you have the want and you have the demand, you can raise the prices.
Yeah, and no disrespect to Lincoln, you got the demand. They got some beautiful golf courses, but I love finding the small town golf courses because they're cheap and they're usually pretty nice. I mean, shout out my Hartington golf course. It's a very nice one. All you really got to do is hit it straight, avoid the trees. There you got a bunch of trees everywhere left and right, and that's really main obstacle. But it's really nice, well kept, pretty cheap to go play around as well. Crofton is another really nice one. It's right by the dam up there, right by the water, and that's another cheap hole and not super hard, but it's in a beautiful spot. And if it's nice enough, and there's a lot of small towns that just got like really nice golf courses. It's one of the coolest things in Nebraska.
You lost me at trees, like
Hillcrest.
Like Hillcrest, for instance. I mean, the fairways aren't all that skinny at Hillcrest, but there's trees surrounding every fairway. And you think, well, you just keep it in the fairway, you're going to be good. But I end up chopping down more trees out at Hillcrest than anybody in the history of Hillcrest golf. Probably should be a plaque of me out there of all the trees I've chopped down out there.
Yeah, hopefully they're just volunteer trees that you're chopping down.
Well, they don't actually get chopped down. They just get a lot of They get a lot of branches knocked off by all my errant swings as the golf ball flies off a branch and then knocks it back into the woods 50 yards.
I didn't realize you're a good golf guy. I knew AD's kind of a junkie for it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that was in your arsenal.
Oh yeah, that was me and AD were golfing machines. We'd go on some trips and we'd golfed a lot. Used to beat the tar out of his sons back in the day. And then they decided that they'd become lawyers in golf management, and now they are pretty good golfers.
Yeah, their AD's kids are all pretty. It was just a matter of time before they do something to overshadow you. I mean, lawyers, great golfers, great athletes, good kids too in general.
Well, Keno, he got the job in golf management, so that means he's probably gonna be playing a lot of golf. I think he's even got a golf simulator somewhere close to his office. And then Aiden, he became a lawyer. And if you're a lawyer, what do? You golf. So now they're golfing machines, and me and AD are just sitting back. Well, then again, AD, remember, he didn't golf for a long time because he had a surgery, so he's been out of commission for a few months. So he won't have picked up until probably next year. So yeah,
you'll probably milk the back injury here at the ticket for a week longer, and we'll catch him down there at the golf course. Like, oh, the back, huh? I thought you still need some rest, AD. No, he's been back. Luckily, AD has been back in the ticket studio, so it's been good to see him. But no, I always love giving him a hard time because he's mutual. So shout out Aaron Davis out there as always. All right, Raff, we had it was a pretty busy weekend outside of just Nebraska alone, but I'll let you pick where you want to start here.
Oh, we got to pick Nebraska football. Big victory over the Northwestern Wildcats. What'd you think? I mean, what was your view of the game? And then we can get into my view of the game and we'll go from there.
It was, what I expected. The noise I just made was the feeling of the game, to be honest. Just kind of like going up and down, like, you start off the game. Once again, I was walking down there because I was here till kickoff, and I'm listening to the crowd. I'm like, hey, look, we sound pretty good. The crowd's going crazy. Walk in there. Hey, it's 7-0. Nebraska's up. And then proceeds to be Nebraska, and things really come what feels like to a grinding halt. You end the half with a bad turnover where you don't get points, but then here comes Kenneth Williams, 98 yards to the house for a touchdown, and you're thinking, okay, here we go. And then Dylan Raiola throws a bad pick, and you're like, seen that one before. We kind of throw it to that linebacker, and then Preston Stone says, here's one right back. Here's a chance. And then we take that chance, and kind of becomes the Emma Johnson game. But once again, it was just so up and down, and special teams kind of saved our butt. Once again, I'm very happy we won. I'm not totally shocked because I think I told you, I think it's going to be a close game. Northwestern's defense is legit. They look pretty good. But at the same time, I'm hoping, I was thinking like this is going to be a close game, not a close and ugly at times game. And that's kind of always the problem, is like we just have these moments where it's like, ugh, like I don't, if you play in Indiana or Ohio State or Penn State, that's deadly, where you lose the game on those type of plays. And we still see too many of those pop up, but it was a big win. And like I said, I was going to take the win no matter what. And now that the whole thing is done with, hopefully they can just focus on what's ahead, which is USC.
Yeah, that's one thing I was happy about too, that there was no celebration over being bowl eligible. Like Coach Rule said last year, that'll be the last year we celebrate that. I'm glad there was no celebration. But I'm also glad it did not become a factor. Like how it could have happened. Like we go on a losing streak, and then at the end of the year, it's like, we got to win to get to the bowl game. We got to win. And it would have escalated into something that I think we want to be past. So I'm glad that we got that taken care of. The game, I think it kind of went kind of like, after you had jumped on the Northwestern bandwagon last week so hard, I kind of went into that game thinking, yeah, this will probably end up being one of those games. I mean, it's funny, but these games have turned into a Nebraska game. You watch this where you get the lead, get up by 14, 15 points, then give it back, and then be tied. And then Nebraska, it's like, maybe that's just
the recipe. I didn't even realize that. It's been a weird recipe for us. Get ahead, lose 14-point leads, tie it up, come back and win on the last drive.
So
and then make a great defensive play at the end to seal it.
So that, I guess, is the Nebraska formula, and that's what kind of hear what you preach. Like every game, it's like we slip out, we win, and it's like, well, I'm proud of the resolve. I'm proud of how they stuck it out, and it's a Big Ten game, and it's a tough team, and respect them. So I guess if that's the game that they're expecting, and they're getting the results that they want. But like I said last week, I made mention of it that this past week didn't scare me as much. I thought Nebraska would win. I didn't really have any doubt of that, but it's this week coming up is the one that I'm worried about, because it seems always is the one that kind of sneaks up where, Nebraska gets a win, starts thinking, maybe they're, I hate to say, better than what they are, and get a little overconfident. And then it worries me a little bit when they start talking about how this is going to be the first bowl, an elimination game, so to say. It's like you start making it to be kind of maybe bigger than what it is. I mean, yes, I guess it is an elimination game, but I just
also, how about you beat like a ranked opponent?
And it is a ranked opponent, so that'll be
get that one done.
So there's stuff out there for Nebraska. It seems like everything that Nebraska stumbled up on in the past years, they have a chance to rectify a little bit this week, because you're going to have a ranked opponent, you're going to have a night game, national TV, NBC, and you're going to have blackout. And like, it seems like, I mean, look over the past 10 to 15 years, and every time Nebraska's made something big out of a game. I guess the Miami game, what was that, 2014 already? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's been almost that's been like, for me, the game that sticks out to where they made a big deal about it, and Nebraska came out and played, with the mirror having the big game that he had. But this is another one of those games. The whole country's going to be watching. This is, the quote unquote elimination game, blackout, going against a ranked opponent. USC, the big name. Usually Nebraska, sometimes in the past, when you hear the old blue blood type names, Nebraska's almost beat out of the box because they got into their heads so much. So I think this is going to be a huge, it's going to be football, of course, but I think the mental part of this game is going to be huge for Nebraska going into, to see if they can finally overcome the mental shortcomings of past years.
Yeah, and there's a lot culminating into this game. And that's why hopefully you just focus on this game and let some of the extra conversations go by the ear, because you got the ranked opponent conversation. Nebraska's never beaten USC conversation, whatever your rule of thumb is on alternate uniforms and how we should never wear it. When we go away from tradition, we lose. You can put that one in kibosh a little bit. Also, it's another one of those games where this thing's probably going to be decided by the stars, right? Like, this to me is a game where if Nebraska's going to win, Dylan Raiola has a moment, or a couple of moments, or maybe multiple. Emmett Johnson has his moments. Special teams maybe has moments. The defense has to have some impact plays. And hopefully we can get pressure on the quarterback. That's the thing that scares me the most. And we'll definitely dive more into it on Thursday again as we learn more into it. But you got a USC team coming off a bye. They know what Nebraska's weaknesses are. So they're looking for these ways that they can exploit what's a really good secondary defense. They're drawing up how they can get past us and where our weaknesses are. And they're going to be able to exploit them if we can't get pressure on the quarterback, no matter how good the secondary is. If we can't get to the quarterback, they're too good to sit back there and not find anybody. And he's good enough to run and pick it up with his legs too. If he breaks out of the pocket and he's got a bunch of deep routes, and if he's reading the back of the jersey, like, he'll take off. And we obviously had problems with Sorsby, Underwood, even Childs a little bit when all those guys did that.
Yep. And we had problems with him last year. Remember that we were kind of like his coming out party, and so we have another shot at him. I was going to say another thing about the uniforms too. I like the black alternate uniforms, but I believe on the helmet it's a black N.
Yeah.
Now, would that not just be set it off with a red N, with the black stripe red N?
I was surprised there's not a little red somewhere.
I think
I don't mind that the black N, but red trim would have been cool, I thought, or somewhere. It doesn't have to be. I like the black and white, and I guess that's what they're going for, is just those two colorways, no red in there. But I mean, a red N would have been sick.
I think that would set it off right there.
It'd be the flash because it is pretty basic, right? I mean, it really is just the black and white uniforms, and I'm okay with that. I'm glad they didn't go super crazy with it and put a bunch of skull bones and crosses all over it. Like they didn't Oregon Nike it up. They just made it pretty generic, and I think that looks better. But I think a little bit of red pop on there. The red end would have been nice.
Red face mask.
That would be incredible. The problem is, though, is I think they set it up for that black end. If you go to the Husker website and the Husker Athletics, all their sports, it's the black end. Yeah. So a little bit of marketing campaign as well for the blackout. And they put the black end on there. So if they would have put the red end, that might have ruined that for him. So I don't know if that fell into the decision making, but I love it. I know some people like the traditional uniforms. Like USC has never worn alternates, I don't believe. Michigan doesn't. Maybe a couple times. I don't think they really do, though.
Yeah, they're pretty basic.
Alabama. So I get there's that crowd of people that says we don't do that. We're a blue blood. But at the same time, and I was talking to Tom Chattel about this. It's 2025. There's no kid that's an athlete who's thinking about going to the University of Nebraska that's going to watch that game on Saturday and been like, man, I was thinking about Nebraska, but
they didn't.
I don't really like how they're just abusing the tradition of the uniforms over there. That's really bothering me. No, they're gonna look at that alternate and be like, "That's sick. What a sick alternate." I mean, kids like that stuff. It's simple. I just think people overthink it sometimes.
Would have been sicker with the red end and the red face mask, though. I'm just saying.
The red face mask really makes it sound cool.
I mean, I'd really set it off. That's what we're looking for. Setting it off.
Well, is the idea that they're going to do it every year? Like just one alternate with a black shirt every year?
I would assume so. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't really get too caught up on the uniform part of it. Like even when they wear all whites, I don't really get too caught up on it. I've always felt that it's the team inside of the uniforms, not the uniform that plays. So
it makes me so mad that we always lose in the all whites because I love those. I like how clean they look. And then we lose in them all the time. And I'm like, oh man. Right now it's going to take forever for us to wear these again because everyone's going to say they're cursed. The all reds we won in though. I like the all reds. I do like when they whipped those out this year. The all red color rush. I'm okay with that. And it was Houston Christian, but they looked awesome.
Yeah, no, I always laughed at the superstitions of all of it. But then I mean, look at Alabama now. You've got Coach DeBoer down here, the black hoodie. I mean, it is so funny. He's got to wear that black hoodie now. I mean, it is. If he comes out in anything other than a black hoodie, Alabama fans will riot because that's his lucky black hoodie. So, but I get it. I mean, I wore a shirt for years because I was like, yeah, it's my lucky shirt. I got to wear this shirt. So I guess the superstition, sometimes it's there. I mean, it played no effect in the game, of course, but I guess if you find something lucky and you think it's lucky and you believe in it, by all power to you.
Yeah. Is now if you're dropping a bunch of ball games and the players are the ones coming up to the coach, like, hey coach, what do you think if we wear all whites? And you got to sit there and be like, hey, listen, boys, we're 2-4. Stop talking about jerseys. Then I understand. Like, yeah, no, that will lose you ball games if like the focus is the jersey. But I mean, if it's a decision ahead and the kids aren't like, we're super locked in on how cool they're gonna look, it's fine. Use it as a recruiting tool.
But then maybe the all whites, maybe they are cursed. I mean, as bad as Minnesota got throttled by Iowa this past weekend, I mean, I'm looking for something because I mean that was a shellacking. So maybe it was the white uniforms. Go back to
2015 or 16, maybe. I mean, we wore all whites on the exact same date on the road, October 17th, and we beat them like 50 something to 7.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. I mean that's just head scratcher of all head scratchers. But I think that's
if you win the game, nobody really gives a damn what you wore.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that Minnesota game they're going to look back on at the end of the year, and I think they're going to kick themselves, being that they dropped that game.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about some of these other Big Ten teams, but Iowa looks scary. I'm just going to say
it. Or is it Gronowski? Yeah,
they're scoring points. Like a lot of points. They're not just kicking field goals and defensive returns. Like they're scoring at a pretty good clip. And Indiana, who's just been really exposing anybody who even tries to claim that they're one of those teams in the Big Ten. I mean, they beat Iowa, but they only did it by 5. That was that first kind of game where Indiana was like, okay, we're getting checked here. And they had to really tooth and nail that one to victory. And without getting too far ahead, Raff, there is a game for Iowa this week in Kinnick Stadium at home versus the Oregon Ducks. And I think that's a big game for everybody to check out because no one's really talking about Iowa. And painfully, I have to admit, I'm sitting over here like, oh, this game at the end of the year might be a really tough win.
Where's game day at? Do we know?
No, I could look it up. I'm not sure if we know yet.
Would Iowa be a candidate? But I guess they like SEC schools right now, so
I would think so, because I mean, between those two schools, both of those, even Iowa, they got the 2 losses. But I think if they ball out and they get a big win versus Oregon, and say Nebraska's ranked, they beat us, like Oregon will have a really good conversation, especially if they're going to put 4 teams in the college football playoffs, like to be one of those teams. If again, the College Game Day announces week 10 destination.
Survey says
it is Nashville on Saturday, number 10 Vanderbilt, number 15 Missouri.
No, that was last week.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Good check.
I'm gonna predict that Vanderbilt wins 17-10, and I win.
I think you got it right, Raff. I'm gonna predict that the Missouri gets close and they're 1 yard short of a Hail Mary.
Wow.
I'll look
this week
for week 11 because I don't want to waste time just Googling stuff over there. If they announce it, we'll find it on the other side. But Chris, Raff, we do got to throw it to break. What do you want to tee up here for us to get into in the second segment?
Oh, I want to talk a little bit NFL. I want to talk about something that happened last night, and hopefully we'll have some opinions on it come in from maybe the texters because it kind of perturbed me. I say the word perturbed an awful lot lately, but what's another word other than perturbed I could say?
Disturbed, agitated.
Ooh, irritated.
Yeah, I like agitated. That one's
agitated. Okay, I was very agitated. So when we come back, we'll talk about that.
All right. We'll do that. Don't go anywhere. And it's Utah and Cincinnati for the game day, by the way. Salt Lake City.
Interesting. But that's going to be a pretty good game because Utah played well. And then Cincinnati, of course, they're the greatest team ever created. Yeah. What up now?
So that'll actually be a good one. Yeah. So you got Utah and Cincinnati. That'd actually be really big, good Big 12 matchup. So we got to go to break. Don't go anywhere. This is Raff's Good Take on Sports right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
If the power is out, traffic lights might be too. If you come across a dark intersection, treat it like a 4-way stop. See more tips at les.com/safety.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
This fall, Baumgars has everything you need to get your farm ready for the season. Stock up on livestock feed, deer corn, and pine shavings to keep your animals fed and your farm running smoothly. Need tools for your fall projects? Grab DeWalt power tools and grass seed to keep your fields in top shape before winter. From your barn to your backyard, Baumgars has you covered. Get ready for the season with everything you need to finish those fall fix-ups. Baumgars, field, farm, and fall fix-ups.
Are you looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through October at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by a qualified standard rate for another 36 months. Whether you're thinking of this year's harvest or planning ahead, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details, or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Schaefer's is celebrating its 79th anniversary with special rebates, financing, savings, and free delivery store-wide.
Update your home with innovative Samsung appliances and save up to an additional $900 with rebates. Samsung Innovation saves you energy and time with easy-to-connect appliance technology. Plus, during Schaefer's anniversary, get free delivery on your appliance purchase.
So hurry in during Schaefer's 79th anniversary event, going on now.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in segment number 2. Raff's Good Take on Sports right here, 93.7 The Ticket. 21-7, Commanders Chiefs. Chiefs still leading it in the fourth quarter, that one wrapping up. And we'll be back live on the Brick and Mortar, me and DP, all the way till midnight once that one wraps up. But speaking of NFL, Raff, let's talk some NFL here. What's on your mind?
Okay, so last night at the end of the Steelers versus Packers game, Aaron Rodgers throws a touchdown pass to Roman Wilson, and it's ruled incomplete. And when you first look at it, you kind of think to yourself, that looked like it was a catch because he caught it. He was holding the ball up, took some steps, and then the defender knocks it out. But you're thinking, that looks like a touchdown. That might be something that they might want to review. So the coach, being it was outside of 2 minutes, there's 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in the fourth quarter, where Tomlin might wants to, have instant replay, take a look at it. Mm-hmm. Well, all of a sudden, they buzz in and the referee goes, after replay assist, it's a touchdown. And I'm like, what? After replay assist, it's a touchdown? Well, then Chris Collinsworth's like, okay, replay assist it's a good thing. But how did they decide when replay assist is used? Because they said, well, when it's clear and concise, it is replay assist can be used to make the game, to expedite the game to go faster. But that catch, it wasn't completely. I mean, it's one of those where you kind of had to look at a little bit to kind of rewind it and be like, okay, catch 1, 2, 3, okay, touchdown. So why I'm agitated is this a pick and choose replay assist rule, or is this all the time? I think the NFL needs to come out and clarify this, because you have some coaches that it's a clear touchdown or it's a clear catch, and the coach is having to waste a challenge when, if replay assist was doing their job clear and concise, they should buzz down right away and be like, yeah, this is the catch, and save these coaches. So I think you're going to run in. This is going to be an issue sooner or later. You're going to have a coach that's going to throw a challenge flag, and it's going to either lose it or it'll be the final one. Like, I believe they each get 2 challenges per game. And if you use one, if you win your first one, you're restored back to 2. So I think somebody's going to challenge, and it'll be the final challenge when it could have been replay assist. And then that coach is going to be like, well, why did you use replay assist on the other team, but you didn't use it for us when it was just as clear on both sides? But I see that being a problem, because I'm not sure how the NFL can step in and be like, after replay assist on some plays, but then on other plays be like, well, when it was just as clear, because that catch in the end zone was one I thought for sure that Tomlin would have to throw a challenge flag on, and he got saved a challenge flag where it was like, yep, replay assist, it's touchdown. So I like that the call is correct, but it just confuses me to, like, when are they able to jump in and win? So yeah, so that was my agitation of the night last night.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't know when that stuff is valid to make the call or not. And maybe it's a problem, or maybe it's a lucrative opportunity, depending on what kind of man you are and how much you want Vegas to get involved. But it's one of those things where, again, when you have any sort of area where the expectation is uncertain, or you don't really understand the full explanation, that's where you start getting people saying the NFL is rigged. If the NFL would love for that conversation to stop, they have to do a better job of officiating. And it almost needs to work like, the courts do. We made this ruling. Here's why we did it. And look at all the previous cases where we applied the same rule. But instead, they have a guidebook that they use. And it feels like some people interpret the guidebook a little bit differently, and they don't really look at how everyone else is officiating. You see it in college football in a major way. SEC officials seem to do a much better job than Big Ten officials. Just putting that out there. And I think most people would agree with that. But in the NFL, I have no idea why there's inconsistencies. And I wish the final thing on that, I wish when they did make these decisions, they were required to send down the angle and have a little, something where it says, this is what we saw, this is what we were looking at, that's why we made the call. This was the angle that decided it.
Yeah.
But they never have. So you're kind of just wondering, and sometimes you don't even see the angle that supposedly they saw for them to make the call, so you just end up being pissed off.
Well, and like too, is like they say if it's clear and concise, they're going to buzz down, replay assist is going to correct the call. Well, how many times have you seen it where there's been a catch and they've caught it out of bounds, and then they went back and they showed on instant replay like 2 seconds later, and you clearly see both feet in bounds? Wouldn't that be where replay assist would buzz down and be like, yeah, that's catch, instead of making the coach throw a challenge flag?
Yeah, it becomes a mess. And I would think so. That'd make more sense. But again, I don't know when they're allowed to come in and make the call or not. If
you don't have parameters around it, it's like it's frustrating, because sometimes replay assist is going to buzz down and be like, yep, that's a catch. Then other times they're not going to buzz down, and then maybe that coach is thinking, okay, yeah, replay assist will buzz down and make that, because it's clear, and then they don't do it. That was it just caught me by surprise last night, where a catch that was kind of questionable, that they made that decision so quickly. Because if I'm the coach, I'm sitting there going, well, yeah, they're going to buzz down and correct this, and then they don't do it, and then you don't throw your challenge flag, and then you lose it altogether. It's like, I don't know, it's it's weird to me. And I see this eventually it's going to rear its ugly head. It always does. And when you don't know when replay assist is going to assist, and then it does and it doesn't, when you start playing that game, sooner or later, something's going to happen. So mark my words, on this day of October 27th, 2025, replay assist will come into jeopardy at some point in this season or postseason.
I think it's a good thing.
Thank you.
It's a problem. Like, if there's no consistency as to when they beep down or not, you see refs like sitting there with the challenge flag and they're like, do I need to throw this? I'm kind of waiting for you guys to stop it for me. Yeah. And then they don't. And then to your point, it's like they're sitting out there and it's like last minute, they got to make an ultimate gut call. Like, okay, crap. I thought they were definitely going to buzz down. They didn't. Yeah. I only have one timeout left. If I throw this challenge flag and don't get it, I don't have a timeout left in the last 2 minutes of the game and we need this drive. So then you run situations like that where you can see coaches clutching it like it's their pearls or something because they're waiting, hoping that they're going to buzz down. But again, it just goes back to you have no idea when they're going to buzz down.
Exactly.
And for having the concise evidence, they don't seem to do it very much.
Yep. It's going to play a factor at some point. There's going to be
a marker in the ball.
The who, what?
The marker in the ball. Wasn't that supposed to be a thing this year that they tried in preseason where they're going to have the marker in the ball so that if you cross the pylon, it's just they know and they don't have to try to figure it out?
Well, they have the first down. They do the laser first down thing, but I'm not sure about the ball. I don't know if they just did that in preseason or I haven't.
So even the laser first down.
They do that. They haven't. They don't do it a lot.
So that makes no sense to me. How that isn't applied yet to the goal line.
Yeah, I'm not.
Obvious case of needing it.
Well, the funny thing about it tonight was there was a pass in the first half. I believe it was to Zach Ertz of the Commanders, and it looked like a clear first down. And they did the Hawkeye thing for the measurement, and he was 5 inches short. And I thought Peyton Manning was going to lose it on the Manning cast. He's like, who do I need to talk to? That was a clear first down. You can see it on the video. And because the Hawkeye came back and said it was 5 inches short, it was 5 inches short.
Yeah. Oh, man. There's a lot of problems in there. I don't know. Because I was, again, going back to this weekend, it was the Bears-Ravens. The Bears were probably going to lose, but it was that last game, the drive of the game, and the clock was running out because DJ Moore. I could have sworn they had a situation where they tried to sneak Caleb Williams in there. And they're about 2 yards out. I could have sworn he actually crossed the pylon, and that kind of got pulled back, but they did make it. So it's like, okay, he definitely got some yardage, and the clock was moving. So I guess the officials were trying to set it up quickly. I'm 99% positive they just put it down where it was last time. They didn't move the ball up at all. So I was like, that seems like a pretty crucial situation to know where do you need to put that ball. And then they just put it at the previous line of scrimmage. And I was like, there's no way. And that's one where I get it a little bit because the clock's going and the officials are trying to help the Bears out by just, let's get this set up here. But it was, when we run so many situations where it blows my mind that we don't have that part figured out. When you can go look at tennis, probably 15 years ago where they had all their laser equipment set up. If one fiber of that tennis ball touches the line, or if it's out, but they got it figured out perfectly. And football, I get it. There's a lot more bodies in the way. But the goal line's never going to move. It's always going to be in that same spot. And for how much money they have, I don't know. I'm always just amazed about the lack of effort to cleaning up the officiating to make it so there's zero doubt in there. And
you could be like the Jets and go for two and be about half a yard outside the goal line and get caught, and then go to review and still have it called a 2-point conversion. I was scratching my head. I still was scratching my head about Aaron Glenn even going for two in that situation, but it worked out for him, thankfully, because if that doesn't work out for him, it's just like, what are you doing? But because I would have rather, if I was coaching, I would have kicked the extra point, and then if I was going for the win, go for the two on your second touchdown. But when you go for that two on that first one, you kind of set yourself back to where you're going just to tie. You'd have to go for two the next at bat when you got the ball. So that was a head scratcher, and I thought he was short, but they went to replay. They went to replay and said it was converted. So I was like, all right, great call. But I was like, man, sometimes instant replay makes you scratch your head a little bit.
Yeah, that one, I can't explain that one. Before we go to break, since we're on the Jets, I got to ask you, what are your thoughts on Woody Johnson? It would have been maybe like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing the blame on Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And saying it's not Aaron Glenn's fault. But I was like, I mean, Alex Smith went off on it as well. And I agreed with him. It's like, that guy's wearing your jersey. He is your starting quarterback. Like, you can't. And for how bad your organization's been, I mean, again, and if you listen to Alex Smith, it's probably a lot of the same thoughts that a lot of people had when he made those comments. It's like, was it Sam Darnold's fault because he's playing pretty good now? Was it Rodgers' fault? Was it all these people's fault? Like, what if it's just the Jets? You have the longest playoff drought in the entire NFL and of all of the New York teams, I think, as well. So it's like, I was kind of blown away for him to say that when very clearly, maybe not to him, but to a lot of people, the organization top down is bad. And a lot of that's spilling into the football team.
Well, he lost me back, was that last year or 2 years ago, when he'd said that his grandsons were making like some of the decisions or what they were doing. And they're like teenagers. Yeah. I'm just like, what is going on? You're kind of, but like at the end of the day, you always go back to, he's the owner of the team. He can do what he wants to do. But if he's a horrible owner, he's going to be, pointed out as a horrible owner. Like Alex Smith, I mean, like he said, I mean, the Jets have had players, Sam Darnold, he's living up to the expectations that the Jets had put on him. And they were unable to get him to where he needed to be, putting the right coaches around him, putting the players around him that he needed to be to succeed. Aaron Rodgers, he went in there, much ballyhooed quarterback. By the end of it, Woody Johnson wanted him out of there. Like did not even want him to be the starting quarterback. And now he's with the Steelers. Yeah, they struggled a little bit last night, but you got to think at the end of the season, the Steelers are going to be, lurking around. So it's like the Jets are the Jets. And I feel bad for their fans because they have some really, really good fans, but their ownership is horrible. And with that, if you look at a lot of the best teams around, look at the ownership. The ownership usually tells you what kind of organization you have. Like the Broncos for a while there, they were struggling. They didn't have ownership. And once they finally got the Penner family in there, they put things together again. So I think your owner, says a lot for your organization. Jerry Jones, for instance, first took over as the Cowboys owner, strong, everything was good, then kind of got lost along the way, made himself the general manager. I think that was probably his downfall for a lot of years, even though he's had some pretty good drafts, the last years. But yeah, sometimes you get too in depth being the owner. You just got to find that equal medium where you're the owner, where you have maybe a little bit of say in football, but you kind of let your people, run it for you, and then, reap the benefits.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. Because again, you're the owner. Like, that's your responsibility. It'd be like, well, I don't know. It'd be like if I was, the owner of a franchise. We'll just call it Harry's Cheesesteaks. I'll be like, yeah, the Lincoln business though really sucks. It's my manager. My manager's horrible. That's the only reason why. Meanwhile, all my other locations are failing, and I'm at a net loss of millions of dollars. But I'm going to go blame this one manager because I'm just, not my fault. My managers stink, not me. It's like, okay. So that's kind of how I took it as well. And I agreed with Alex Smith completely. I was like, how could you possibly say that with your history? But you can, because he's the owner, and nobody's going to tell him you can't say that. With that being said, Raff, we do got to throw it to break. We got Raff's Good Take coming up on the other side. Don't go anywhere. One more segment right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
Deciding on a college with your high school senior can be a little overwhelming for parents. But applying for money to pay for it is simple. FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, is now easier than ever with fewer questions and faster fill-out times. If you have a high school senior, now is the time to apply for thousands of dollars for classes, books, and housing. Get started, Nebraska, at dothefafsa.org. Sponsored by Education Quest Foundation. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
All right, welcome back in. Raff's Good Take on Sports. There he is. Thought I lost him for the last segment. Would have been brutal. I can't do Harrison's Good Takes. It's got to be Raff's Good Takes. Wrapping things up as always. And Raff, got a few minutes here. Who do you want to give your good take out to today? And actually, hold on, let me turn off the music. Otherwise, the music and you are tied when you guys are streaming in, so I gotta double time here. All right, Raff.
All right, everybody. Today's Raff's Good Take goes out to the shops at Prescott Avenue there in Lincoln, down in that College View area. Last night, they did like a little trick or treat thing for all the little kiddos that wanted to come by. Just really cool area down there. Remember back to the days when Stacy's locker room used to be. Are they still around? I don't even know if they're still around or not. But all those little cool little shops down in there, just really cool that they did that for the kids and for the families to go down there in a safe spot last night to trick or treat. So the shops at Prescott Avenue, you guys are Raff's Good Take.
Love it, Raff. I will give mine out to Magic. I'm sure you've probably seen him text in. Shout out Magic. He came down. He tried to do a really nice thing for this young man who wanted to go to a Husker football game, and things just unfortunately didn't work out. So he's stuck there with 2 tickets. And Raff, these were club level tickets.
Hello.
I was like, okay. And he just ended up not being able to give them away to the young man. So he asked me if I wanted him and had a buddy. So shout out Magic. That was the first time I got to sit in club level as well. I didn't realize a whole nother area up there. It took me a while to figure out to find the elevator, but that was nice. I that was a good view up there. And obviously, it beats it at just watching it here at the station. I love the ticket station. Don't get me wrong, but that was a nice change for me. I never sat up there. So I didn't realize it was that much of a nicer experience. I shouldn't say that much nicer, but just the whole area up there that is kind of closed off. I didn't realize how all that worked.
Yeah, no, and just a huge shout out to Magic,
great guy.
Just his story and what, over the last, well, let's see here. We've almost been doing this for 4 years now. And just, over those 3-4 years, just the transitions and the changes that Magic's made in his life. And it's just amazing seeing him now and just how great he looks. So Magic, you're awesome, dude. Just keep up being you. You're a great person. So yeah. And then,
it's great. He reminds me of
Harrison's all bougie now, sitting in the club level, man.
Oh, I felt bad though, because I'm not gonna lie, I had no intentions of going to the game, so I was just kind of wearing sweats and a gray Husker football sweatshirt. I wasn't really wearing a ton of red, so I pulled up in just like baggy sweats and a gray football hoodie, and not the best hair day. I've said it already, but we're really close to Halloween now, so I can hold on for it. But my haircut looks like a mess. I was like, I look like a bum up here. Like everyone knows. People probably thought I snuck up onto the elevator for sure. But no, shout out Magic. It was a great experience.
Who does he remind you of? I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, that's right. As a little bit like Ricky C. Simmons and Terrell Farley, where the ones they got through their problems, they want to do is help other people out.
Nope.
And it's really cool because they saw like how much it probably sucked when they were struggling going through it, and now they just want to like try and make sure that nobody has to go through that. And they know they can't heal the world, but if there's one person they can save, they're all about it. So he's kind of like one of those guys that I think of who went through some stuff, is open and honest about it, now uses it as a way to help others, and he truly just wants to.
Yep, and he cares. It reminds me a lot of Terrell Farley in the way that he always wears that John Elway shirt. I think it says GOAT on the front of it. I mean, he got that shirt just, for me, just for John Elway. And yeah, just great person.
Great guy. Magic, for listening. Appreciate it as always. Appreciate everybody else who's not Magic and also listening to me and Chris Raff. But don't go anywhere. Late night in Lincoln, as always, me and DP. Raff, appreciate it as always. Talk to you tomorrow.